Jacob, you're still not coming home yet? Do you even know what time it is right now? It's been 4 hours now since I've had dinner made and you're still not home from work.
I can still get a taxi or something to ride home in a little bit and we'll eat that food tomorrow.
But I told you that I wanted you home earlier today, didn't I?
Well, there were some things that came up. I had some things from work come out of nowhere that I needed to handle.
Well, if that's the case, then you should have told me a lot sooner when you first found out. I had messaged you 2 hours ago, right?
Well, I was drinking, so I didn't have time to look at my phone. I'm just going to be home a little bit later today, so don't get so upset with me, okay?
But I had made your favorite food today for dinner. You told me what you had been wanting to eat lately, and so I got it all together for you. And I told you this morning that we'd be having all of it for dinner tonight, didn't I?
Is that so? I'm sorry. I'll hurry up and come home.
But aren't you still drinking?
Well, not anymore that I'm being asked to come home. How can I drink when you keep getting upset with me? You're not going to go to sleep before I get home, right?
Well, if I do fall asleep, then I do. But I might now because I don't have work tomorrow.
Well, if that's the case, then stay awake until I get back.
All right, I will. Hey, you remember what's going to happen on the 3rd of next month, right?
On the 3rd? What was it?
Are you serious, Jacob?
I'm just kidding. I know. It's going to be our wedding anniversary, right?
Even if it's a joke, don't say things like that about our important date.
We're going to be going to the same restaurant we always do for dinner, right? I'll make sure to get us a reservation there, so don't worry.
Well, if you can get that, it would be great. But this time you're not going to be late for the dinner, right?
Why would I be? Have I ever been late to our anniversary dinner before?
You haven't yet, but recently you have been late to a lot of things. And the last time you and I have gone out together was months ago, if I remember correctly.
But you and I have gone out shopping together, right?
Do you consider the two of us going out to the supermarket to get groceries a date?
Well, you and I have been married now for 2 years. I think us doing anything together can be considered a date.
But I'd also like us to do things together that are a bit more relaxing and romantic. You and I both work full-time, and so we're always busy with something going on. But even on days that we both have off together, you're going out on your own, right? You just leave me at home to do all the cleaning.
I'm sorry. My next day off, I'll take some time to help you around the house. And then in the afternoon, you and I can go somewhere you want to go together.
Really? That's a promise, right?
It's a promise. I'm walking outside now, so I'm going to hail a taxi.
Then I'm going to get started on reheating dinner for you. Please be safe on your way home. Listen to me, Jacob.
Huh? What's wrong?
I just got a call from my mom and she's telling me that my little sister had gotten into trouble again.
What happened with her this time?
Well, she seems to have a relationship with a guy at her work.
Man, that right there is a bit too much.
And this morning, that guy from her work came over to my parents' house and started yelling at them to give him my sister. They were getting really close to having a call with the police.
What? Your little sister is still living with your parents?
She lives on her own now, but sometimes she'll go over to their place to stay for a while if they need help with anything. But this time, my mom was furious about what had happened.
Even from the morning, things are starting out rough for all of them.
And it was just 2 years ago that she had cheated on her partner at the time, who happened to be a boss in the company, and she had to pay a lot of money in a settlement to him. I guess she didn't learn a thing back then. Well, if it wasn't her that ended up paying the settlement in the first place, though, my parents did that for her.
I don't know what else to say besides the fact that your little sister really gets around. Now that I think about it, she's only in her mid-20s, right?
Yeah. She's getting close to the point in her life where she should be settling down a bit, yet she's still going out messing around. Why does she want to start so many things with different guys?
Well, there will always be people like her that love to run around and play with various people.
Well, I'm sure I was the same way when I was younger. But just remembering my past makes me so upset.
Well, things like that aren't happening with you anymore, so you're okay.
Well, I can trust you being my partner and husband because we've been together for almost 5 years now. And if you were someone like those guys I'd been with in the past or my sister, I would have never come around to marrying you.
Thank goodness you were able to marry me.
But I'm sure that my family is trying their hardest not to get us around my little sister anymore.
No, I don't mind meeting with her whatsoever, actually.
Well, if you say so.
What does that mean?
Well, I'm just saying that if you don't mind my sister, that's fine. But this time my parents have had enough of her and are planning to outright cut ties with her.
That's right. The last time she was caught having an affair with another man while dating her boss, she made a promise to your parents to never cheat again, right?
Yeah, and if she promised them that, then they would be willing to pay the settlement for her. And since that event had taken place, there was nothing really going on between my sister and my parents and any guys. But now, it actually seems that in these past few years, she's been doing the same kind of things like cheating and dating more people from her work, but all behind our backs. That's what she told my parents today.
Well, saying they'll cut ties to her is a big deal.
Well, that's how far she pushed my parents around with her relationship issues before they met her limits. And it's not just all the cheating and stuff, but the fact that she's always causing problems for everyone when she's around and my parents have to be there to support her and get her out of it. I think by this point, there are more people that hate her on this planet than like her.
Well, that's probably true. Are you going to be okay with them doing that to her?
I think she has to pay for everything she's done now. And when I think about all the men she hurt, I can feel the anger they must have for her. She's been doing some terrible things, and my parents understand that all too well. I'm sure they still don't want to think about doing what they have to do, and would really like to think that she never could have done any of this.
Because they still love her, right?
I believe so. I feel the same way, but there's nothing else that can be done. I think they have to cut ties with her, and I sort of feel the same way.
I'm not really familiar with everything she's done yet, and she's not my sister, so I'm not sure what you should do. To me, I really thought she was your standard little sister that was always bright and cheerful.
And that's why I'm so upset right now about what's going on and can't figure out what I should do. I'm sorry, Jacob. It's lunchtime right now, and I'm going on all about this.
Don't worry, Miley. I don't mind having to listen to things like this while at work. It's times like these where you should be telling me everything.
Thank you. I don't want to go, but I think I should head back to my parents' house soon. Right now, my mom is having a really hard time handling all of this with my sister.
All right, go home and help them out. And you should give your little sister a good talking while you're there.
I don't think she'll listen to a word I have to say, though.
Well, you don't know that until you try. When thinking about the fact that the family might kick her out, she might grow up and consider listening.
Well, if she's already hearing that, then it might be too late, right?
Well, sometimes that is the case.
You're running out of time to eat your lunch. I'm sorry for carrying this out on you for so long.
I'm a fast eater, so there's nothing wrong. If you feel that you haven't had enough time to tell me everything, I'll listen to you more tonight.
Really? I've noticed you coming home earlier recently.
Well, someone was telling me I was coming home too late, so you wanted to have more time with me, right?
Yes, thank you. I think today I'm going to make us something good for dinner.
Well, then I'll send you some of my requests in a little bit.
Alright, I'm looking forward to cooking up whatever you want.
Miley, I just got to the restaurant. Are you still not here yet?
Unfortunately, something really bad has happened.
Huh? What really bad thing has happened? Don't tell me you got into an accident.
Well, if you think about it, there has been an accident.
What do you mean if you think about it? You're safe right now, right? If you got into an accident on the day of our anniversary, then I'd never be able to calm down.
That's true. You really wouldn't be able to. And at this point, I'm wondering if I really can say I'm okay or not.
Huh? Are you okay, Miley? What the hell has happened?
My sister has become pregnant. I got a call from her about it right after I got out of work today.
What? Your sister's with another man now? Oh, or are you talking about with that one guy from before?
No! It's your baby! When I asked her whose baby she was pregnant with, she told me it was yours. I'm not laughing about this crap anymore.
Huh? My baby? What the hell are you talking about? After all that crap about an accident happening, it's not the time to start making jokes with me.
It would be a huge relief if it was just all a joke. But now, I've heard about it all from my family. I was even able to see the messages you and my sister have been sending back and forth. You did a fantastic job keeping this one secret from me.
No, wait a second. I think this is all a big misunderstanding. Your sister and I have never even been around each other long enough to do anything like that.
1 year ago, you had met my sister by coincidence downtown, right? And during that short time, you had traded her contact information, right? You don't have to lie to me anymore, Jacob. I know about everything between you two.
No, there's definitely no way that's my kid she's carrying.
The last time you met with my sister was a month ago, right? You told me you were going back to your parents for a bit, and so we wouldn't see each other for a little while, right? I have the whole conversation saved in my phone still. And during that time you were away was the same time that my little sister was out of my parents' house. Until one day, they asked her to get her butt home.
What are you going on about?
At that point, you could no longer see my sister, and that's when you said you came back from your parents' house, and since then, you hadn't been staying out late anymore. All of these events line up so well now.
I'm telling you, you're wrong, Miley. Think about it for a second. Back then during that time, your sister was still with that one guy from her work, right? It has to be his kid she's carrying. Stop trying to trap me in this position.
Why do you think I'm doing this to you right now, Jacob? You told me you had nothing to do with her.
Well, I only talked with her for a little bit because she wanted to get something for you to celebrate us being together. And so her and I talked about what would be a good present for you, that's all.
My sister is now 3 months into her pregnancy. When you look at the time frame and match it to when you were still meeting her, it matches perfectly. And she's telling me that she wasn't with any other men during that time.
Well, you don't know that. She could still be lying to you about other men again.
She may be a pretty horrible person, but once she's been found out, she stops lying about it. She's told me every little detail about what happened between you two. But I'm sure her talking about all of that is making you upset right now.
Miley, can you calm down for a little for me? I didn't do any of that. I'm serious.
If you start trying to delete any texts now that you guys had, it's already too late. We still have her phone, and she's not deleting a thing. And the funny thing is that she even showed me pictures of you and her together that she took with her phone. So you were going to continue to tell me that I'm wrong when I have a very solid evidence?
I'm sorry. I'm so freaking sorry.
So you're finally going to start taking responsibility for your actions?
I was not being that serious with her at that time. Miley, I want to meet with you one more time to talk about this.
What? What do you want to talk about now?
I never meant for any of this to turn into us having to get a divorce. The most important person in the world to me right now is you.
What are you talking about? You went and had an affair with my little sister and even got her pregnant?
But even still, I don't want us getting divorced.
Well, I want to get a divorce, and that's the only thing I'm willing to do right now. You're going to become a father now.
No way. I'll pay for the child support, but I'm not doing anything else.
But from what I heard the last time we all talked together, you said you'd remarry to my little sister and then raise your kid with her, right?
Well, that was... Your parents were there as well, so...
Huh? So that was all another lie you had to tell me? You just told us that so that you could get out there as soon as possible?
Well, at that time, I couldn't handle all the stress. I did at one point think about marrying her, but I feel that one should only marry those that he loves.
Well, that person that you loved, you stabbed in the back and made a baby with her sister. Hey, can you try your hardest not to tick me off anymore that I already am? How many times more are you going to try to hurt me before you stop acting like a jerk?
You and I have been doing really well together and have had a fun life together being married. And recently on our days off, you and I have been going out a lot. When it comes to chores, I've started helping with all of them, right?
And that's because my sister had to go back to my parents' house to be yelled at and you could no longer meet her, right?
That's not it at all, Miley. That's when I learned that you really are the only woman for me. So after our last time, there was no more intention of meeting with her again. That was the moment I wanted to end things between us.
But you can't end things with her right now. You have to be a father now, and I'm not letting you run away from that responsibility. And my sister has chosen that she'll go forward with having the baby.
But I don't plan on becoming a parent yet.
So you're just going to leave her and the baby behind right now?
But look, Miley, if I have to be with her and the baby, then you and I will have to get a divorce.
Well, you already made it clear to me that you wanted a divorce the moment you started having an affair with my sister. Even if you didn't get her pregnant, I'd be done with you.
Why are you able to think about divorcing me so easily, Miley? Have you never been in love with me?
Huh? Are you a stinking idiot? I've loved you so much that I've came this far with you. While you had been going out and fooling around with my sister, I still stayed with you and got all the chores done around the house, right? You and I both worked full time, yet I was always making both breakfast and dinner for both of us. I would even work my butt off keeping the house spotless. And that was all because I loved you. So I don't want to hear a word from you about the love I had for you when you had nothing for me.
But listen to me. Is this really the time to be thinking about getting a divorce already? Even celebrities let their spouses cheat on them from time to time without getting a divorce. Some of them will even laugh it off and go out and cheat to even the playing field a little.
You're not a celebrity, right? And when it comes to getting a divorce or not, that all depends on the person and the situation at hand.
But I'm saying that you're lucky that I'm coming back to you, and I'm saying I still love you. So please stop talking about divorce like you don't care about my love for you.
It's not that I don't care about what you love me or not. It's just that the moment I learned about you having an affair with my sister, my love for you vanished because I saw that you have no love for me. That was the moment I realized I had to divorce you. Now I couldn't care less what happens to you after this.
Why have you turned into such a cold person now? Aren't you going to become lonely if we separate?
Oh, I will. I really want to believe that this is all some sort of twisted nightmare. It's so painful for me that I just want to wake up from it. But you and my little sister having an affair is all reality. So there's no other way to break free of this pain besides leaving you.
There are other ways, though. You and I can rekindle the love we had before each other. Can you trust me? Let's you and I get back to being husband and wife and move on like none of this has ever happened.
That's not something that you should be asking me for right now. What do you think you're doing? Why, after having an affair with my sister and getting her pregnant, are you acting like you have the right to blame me? You're the freaking problem. So you shut the freaking hell up and listen to me.
Miley.
No!
I'm so sorry. I don't want us to get divorced, though.
I don't want to get divorced. I want to make up again. Why are you the one telling me this when you cheated on me? You're an adult now. Whether you can see that or not, as an adult, you take full responsibility of your actions. I'm not going to just sit here and let you walk all over me like I'm the one being ridiculous right now.
Forgive me, please. You don't even have to forgive me, but at least be by my side. I'm saying that I'll never do anything like that again to you.
You still think there's going to be an again? This is why you're being divorced. Stop thinking that I have to be with you anymore.
Miley, I'm really sorry for what I did. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
Even a child can apologize like you are. But an adult would be able to take responsibility for what they've done and walk away. So stop trying with me or I'll really let loose on you. I believe from the bottom of my heart that I would have been better off never marrying you. From there, it took a few days, but my parents, my in-laws, and myself all went over to Jacob's house and forced him to sign the divorce documents. And while there, we had a lawyer come over, and after everyone but my husband had agreed, it was decided that I'd get everything in the divorce. I was also going to be getting a settlement from both him and my sister for them having an affair. But since my sister really didn't have anything, Jacob paid off both of what they owed. Also, after seeing his parents even help me out with getting a divorce and settlement from him, Jacob was able to fully understand the kind of deep water he was in and never spoke to me again. After the divorce, my ex and my sister remarried and have been living together. But towards the end of her pregnancy, my sister's baby stopped growing. And now that there's a little chance of the baby being born, my ex argues that he doesn't have to be married to my sister anymore. But she argues back that she doesn't want to work. So those two go back and forth day after day about what they're going to do. And when it comes to my sister, when she's decided on something, there's no changing her mind. So whether they like it or not, they're going to continue to be stuck with one another for a long time. I think that even with all the hate and arguing that they are always going through, she still likes to be with him, and that's just weird. But as for my parents and I, we're cutting ties with her. And so, we don't care what really happens to her and Jacob. And it's great to think that she'll never be able to cause any trouble ever again. And I think it's a good thing if my ex stays with her for the rest of his life as well. After what had happened to everyone then, my parents and I packed up and moved to a new house together. And we moved somewhere that my sister would never be able to find, so we really don't have to think about her even coming back again. And to make sure that she would never be able to find me, I left my job and found a new one with a company she doesn't know. So right now, I'm able to take things slowly with my loving parents and let time heal the wounds that I have to my heart from that jerk of a man. I never planned on losing both my sister and husband in one event, but I find that things are going to be way better for me going into the future. And once I've caught a new wind, I'm going to ride it into a life where people like them can't take advantage of me. I'm going somewhere that those kinds of people can't even touch me. And there, I'll be able to forget the things I've lost and forget the pain I've felt and go back to the person I've always been on the inside.